Did you know that the boom mic was invented by an openly queer woman director in the 1930s? Let's learn about Dorothy Arzner. Dorothy Arzner started out as a cutter for Paramount. Cutter at the time was what they called video editors. During the early days of film, there were actually way more women video editors than there were men. And part of the reason for that is because they thought that the machines that the women were cutting the film on seemed a lot like sewing machines, and their dainty little hands could do it better.
Any movie that you love, chances are it was directed by a man, edited by a woman.
But anyway, she started out as an editor, and then she also branched into screenwriting and wrote some of Paramount's best performing films at the time. She really wanted to direct, but Paramount didn't want her to. They were like, oh no, keep doing the women's work of editing. She got an offer from Columbia to direct and was gonna jet there. And then when she told her bosses at Paramount, they were like, oh, no, you can direct now. We don't want to lose you. So then she got to start directing at Paramount. She is to this day the most prolific female director in the studio system. That means she directed more films for major studios than any other woman, more than any modern director that you know. Which is messed up, but we can come back to that later. Back to her story. So she's an openly queer woman directing films for Paramount Pictures. She also just so happened to be independently wealthy. Thanks, Dad. Which gave her a lot of leverage while she was negotiating her contract to become a director for Paramount. She wanted to direct or do nothing, and she had the money to walk if things didn't go the way she wanted them to.
I want to be great or nothing.
She builds up her street cred directing silent films, and then when the advent of sound came in, she was trusted with being the first person to direct a sound feature for Paramount. Now, if you've seen Singing in the Rain, you might have some sort of idea where this is all going. A lot of the silent film actors of the day were terrified of sound.
Saved your life! Oh, you guys made me eat!
They didn't know how to act with their voices. They were miming and stuff. The mics were huge. They would hide them in behind plants and stuff. It was a lot clunkier until they figured out how to record sound smoothly.
Don't you remember I told you? There's a microphone right there in the bush.
Yeah.
You have to talk into it.
So the star of this first sound picture for Paramount is Clara Bow, and she is terrified of the microphones. She can't act when she's around it. She's worried about bumping into it. This is where Dorothy Arzner's scrappiness and brilliance comes in. She gets one of her sound technicians to go and grab a fishing rod, tie the mic to the end of the pole, and hang it over her head, and he can follow her as she's walking, thus inventing the first boom mic.
And if you don't know, now you know.
And this is just one example of how Dorothy Arzner was a brilliant and wonderful director. After she finished her directing career, she went on to pursue teaching at UCLA, where she taught none other than FFC. I don't actually know if anyone calls him that. Francis Ford Coppola. So film bros, remember that your favorite little dude who made The Godfather, little dude, that sounds so condescending. Your favorite guy who directed The Godfather attributes his training to one of the greatest women of the time. And let's not forget that during all of this, she was openly living with her female partner. The takeaway here, be yourself, be true to yourself, and follow your instincts. Be scrappy, and maybe you could invent the next thing that everybody is going to be using on almost every set for the next, I don't know how many years. If you liked this story and you want to learn more about the creative process, like, subscribe, and follow along. Happy Pride, y'all.